Well, let's get started, shall we? I'd like to have a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll make that motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Herzberg, seconded by Armstrong. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, motion carries. Time for our engineer's update. Mr. King, good morning to you.
Good morning. It's a fine day in Page County. The sun's shining above the clouds. We just can't see it at the moment. So I sent out the engineer's agenda yesterday afternoon. Here's a paper copy for your convenience this morning.
Thank you, sir.
Yesterday, we're burning brush countywide with the addition of snow to the landscape to preclude fires that went where we didn't want them to go. We have adjusted our methods compared to previous years when we burn brush and cut brush. I'll call them distributed pairs. We send the guys out 2 at a time with machines or pickups and burn. We're cutting brush. We're cutting brush today. And then we also have a crew with a skid steer because we don't have a skid steer at every distributed pair location. They travel around consolidating piles and helping out these the guys that are observing the brush burning. So we have a skid steer crews with grapples cleaning and piling. We're cleaning up trucks from the weekend's snow push. We did send out trucks Saturday morning for a round on all the pavements. It'd been the 12th of December. About half a day's work. We did lose a pin on a wing and had a hose break on the power steering line, but that was fixed yesterday. We also found some problems with the boom mower, both with the boom of the mower head part and the transmission differential thing is leaking oil again. That's one of our problem pieces of equipment. And it's a hard to use piece of equipment also. Turning to the engineering side, we continue to work on EWP projects, emergency watershed protection. It's a program through the NRCS where we do work off of the right of way to improve our watersheds, stabilize banks, stabilize degrading stream beds, which is prevalent in our county and parts of southwest Iowa. Site number 8, which is on 160th Street, they're doing cleanup. They did grout last week. Also site 3, and site 3 is on the agenda to sign a final voucher today. There's one, aside from the normal cleanup of the site, we do have one more item at site number 8 to fix. It's at the very outlet of the weir where the channel has a little jog. We need to clean that out of the channel and lose that dirt on the project somewhere, but should be done this week. Sites 9 and 10 remain. Those are the most northern set of weir. One's on 110th Street west of Hartstacks. The other's on 130th Street. It's called the Sod Farm. near a sod farm there, or a former sod farm. We did also in December request a time extension from the NRCS till the 30th of June, 2021. The Des Moines guy told me usually they'll give you 60 days at a time. However, unexpectedly, we did get an extension to the full term till the end of June. He said, he made some comment how this was unusual, but but speculated that we had gotten an extension because of our previous work that we had accomplished this season. So with any good fortune, as far as weather concerned, we may be done yet this December on those two weirs. There is a East and West Nishnabotna Watershed Management Authority meeting. It's a Zoom meeting on Friday. If anyone's interested, contact me and I can send you that link. Project development work for next year and the following years continue. Right now we're working on a bridge on 280th Street or J53 west of the East River Road, or east of N14, where that runs into J53. It's over Buchanan Creek. It's a standard bridge. The DOT has provided standards for counties to use, so we don't need a consultant to design the bridge for us. We just pick a bridge. There's standard specifications for it already put together, and we'll use that. Another bridge we're going to work on here yet this month, weather permitting, is a bridge over one of the Tarkios on G Avenue north of Norwich. It's currently rated or posted at 3 tons. So farm traffic should not be going across it. Probably pickups and cars only. The deck is poor, and then we're going to rehab the 2 piers with some additional steel piling to shore up the failing wood pile. That should go on this week, or at least the contractor should move in this week. He's currently doing work in Fremont County. The county will replace the deck. He'll drive the piling, furnish and drive piling. That is all I have for the update. We do have an agenda item to have the board sign a final pay estimate for Site 3. I need a motion to approve that, please.
I'll also move that we approve the signing of the final voucher for the EWP Weir Repair Site 3.
I second.
Oh, getting that buzz, maybe it's me. Herzberg seconded the motion by Armstrong to approve EWP Weir Repair Site number 3. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Right.
Okay, motion carries.
You go, Chairman, down to X, red. Thank you.
Here we go. Question on the bridge north of Norwich. When we get done, will it remain a 3-ton bridge?
No, we will talk with our bridge inspection consultant and raise that.
Okay. And then on project 1 being complete, can you remind me, I don't have my Weir sheet.
Okay.
What site numbers are in?
Right. Site 3 is the last of the 3 sites in project 1. Project 1 has sites 3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5. Okay.
So 3 is west of College Springs, 4 is south of Coyne, 5 is north of Coyne. They were all bundled together. AM Coron was a contractor. So that's a project. And we have project agreements by project, 5 projects, 12 sites. So that's another project that can get finalized out. We already have finalized out, I believe, number 2 and number 5.
Awesome. Any other questions,
Due
John?
to the good fall weather though,
Oh,
it's
certainly.
really helped us on our EWP weirs. Because otherwise I was afraid we weren't hardly gonna get started.
Correct. In the middle of the summer, I didn't anticipate it would be this far. And it was the weather conditions.
So, you had a pretty good team. I'd like to point out, can you point out who really was primarily assigned to this project from your office?
Certainly, the guys in my office that worked on these jobs every day is Randy Davison from Clarinda, and then Jacob Case, a relatively new surveyor to the team from north of town, originally from Valeska.
I just wanted to share that day that I was out with the inspections, they were so proud of what they had done. It was just really kind of neat to see how much involvement they had and their attitudes, their positive. It was pretty impressive that they were making sure that everybody that was coming to inspect with them, they knew what all they had done. And it wasn't, I don't know how to describe it, it was very nice. Randy and Dick, they did a nice job, so.
Well, how many dollars was the total?
This is pushing $4.5 million altogether.
Which again, our percentage of that is very slim, thanks to federal and.
Right, we got 75% federal money, 10% Hungry Canyon's money.
Well, and I'm sure one of the reasons why John Thomas and both Brian Holmes were so easy to work with is we had such a good team working on this. And that's very appreciated, J.D.
Right, and we do have, we got cooperation from all the local landowners
Right.
and even ones from out of state. So that was essential to our efforts also.
That and Mother Nature, but Mr. Case
Exactly.
and Mr. Davison
Yeah.
were a big part of
They
us
were.
being able to do this.
Yes, that was,
But that low flow on the water being dry. helped.
Yeah, oh,
Right.
I'm glad we had our new surveyor.
Okay, thank you. I see the library folks aren't going to show up till 9 o'clock, but I'm going to put in a pitch for them. I and my family in Shenandoah are patrons of the Shenandoah Public Library, and we use it on a regular basis.
okay.
So that's my input as a regular folk from Shenandoah.
Okay, thank you.
JD, the only thing I was gonna say, that east-west niche meeting, I think it's tomorrow.
16th? It might be the 16th. They're usually on Fridays.
Yeah, they usually are, but I got
Tomorrow.
an email on.
Is it tomorrow, the 16th?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, my bad.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I have juvenile detention, so
I'm
I
gonna
could be
try to
driving,
join it,
but
but I may not be there very long, but
Okay.
I'm going to be able to be there.
Via Zoom?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to join in with Kara, so I've got the information, so.
I'll be heading to,
Okay, I'll.
You got juvenile detention, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, we are early, so I don't know if Brandy or anybody from the Wellness Committee is gonna be here for 9:15, or we could move that up, but why don't we just catch up on paperwork, I guess, until the library shows up.
they were gonna come in.
The library, yes, they are coming, yeah. Is that me, Corey?
Well, I'm turned off now, but, well, maybe it is.
Yep. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll turn that on.
Oh, shit.
Your mask is broke. You want to staple it?
I thought.
I've got it turned off now.
You have to call a while to have me taken out of here.
The county doesn't have any wireless handhelds, do they? Oh, okay.
All right, test 1, 2, test 1, 2, thank you.
Coming off your computer?
Maybe so.
Well, you don't have a pacemaker yet, so we can't blame it on that.
That's true. Very true. Well, that's weird. I mean, I've turned off. The transmitter's turned off. And. Yeah. My phone. Well, I need my, can I set it over here? I need my phone. Morning, Andrew.
Andrew? How are you?
John, come on. Never mind.
Let's go ahead.
You're what?
I'm gonna get a blue pen.
Melissa here today.
So, is your open house still going on across the street?
No, it was just last week. She had a lot of people.
Did she?
Yeah.
Is she over there today?
She told me, yeah, till 11:30, she's got a doctor's appointment.
Well, I'm sure sorry, I meant to get there and I did not.
And good.
Oh, hey, thank you.
That's fitting, and
Set that right there for now. Oh, okay.
Chris, can I ask you a question? If I'm airport holders, they go into that kind of a file cabinet, that's what we had downstairs for the people. So if I need to switch everything over, I would available. You would have me now. No rush, but yeah, I probably need a box. Yes, they'll hand it. So.
Oh, here's your pen back, thank you, sir.
you bet.
Look at that, we got it.
Yeah, now, that is clever.
Had to fix my own.
Andrew, do you guys have anybody else coming that you know of? We can wait, I just thought if you were all here, we could. Okay. I don't know if you guys get your email.
From Lyle. Y'all read it here when you're going.
What's that?
Oh, we got a letter from Lyle about reserve deputies I wanted to put on the record. Are you Miss Carrie? Good, thank you. Well, you've been outdoors. Okay, thank you. Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys an email later with, I want you to look at the resolution that Mills County did relative to UTVs, ATVs for public road use. And I think if, in their case, I think it all runs through the recorder's office, but I'm not sure. Have you take a look at it, see if you have any feedback, and we can get that on the agenda one of these days. For those of you on Zoom, we're on a brief recess until we get to 9 o'clock with our library presentation. Jess, I know you're on the line. And you're not on the agenda, but wanted to say congratulations. I see that daily report, our positivity rate continues to go down considerably from what it was a month ago or 3 weeks ago. So do you say Bob's coming too?
Bar from the corner library.
Oh, okay, okay. Hi, Ruth. Have you guys, Andrew, been making much with your printer, your 3D printer?
We actually, yeah, I had someone come in yesterday and they want to print something for their sibling. So we'll be working on that for the next couple of days prior to Christmas and everything. It's kind of cute, sweet, because the kids how much can I print for X amount of dollars and everything like that for their system. So,
Well, we'll wait till 9 o'clock, see if Barb shows up. I did want to share, that, our Sheriff Lyle Palmer sent a letter, and our board would like to congratulate 3 reserves who, completed the Iowa Law Enforcement, training standards for reserve deputies. Seth Mackey, Frank Pullen, and Jen Sands, which, that means that with this training, they are now Iowa certified reserve deputy sheriffs, and they have the same authority as the other 5 reserve deputies that are on the Page County staff. So congratulations to Seth, Frank, and Jen for their dedication to service.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's a little bit before 9 o'clock, but I think all the library directors are here, so we're glad to have you. Who's going to start first? Looks like the gal that was appointed this year to State Library Board.
Yes, and then I raised my hand and now I'm the vice chair of the commission. So
Oh,
I believe next year I get to run the meetings, so lucky me.
all right, well,
Does that mean president next year?
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I was like, well, vice president doesn't sound so bad, but president, maybe no.
and Carrie, and for the speakers, if you wish, at the podium, we do have 6 feet of separation. If you're more comfortable speaking without your mask, you may
Oh,
certainly
okay.
do so.
I would appreciate that because
Yeah,
I know it's hard to hear through the mask. So just wanted to say thank you for seeing all of us. I'm here to give the funding year 20 Page County Librarians Report. And so with me is Barb McCollum from the Coyne Library, Amber Duncan from the Essex Library, and Andrew Hopman from the Clarinda Library. So basically, I have the fun project of putting together all of our statistics. So that first page that you received, the blue one, just has the highlights from this year. And to be perfectly honest, there's not a lot to highlight this year, unfortunately. I mean, being closed to the public for close to 6 weeks, all of us, and then only being able to do curbside for at least another month after that certainly dropped most of our numbers down. So what you're going to see on that front page, very little increased. We saw a 6% increase in database usage and a 1.6% in computer and Wi-Fi access, which I think is kind of impressive considering that our buildings were all closed for a fairly long time. And even after that, I know everybody can say that we aren't seeing the foot traffic in our buildings that we were before March. So really on all of our other statistics, from visitors to checkouts and other things, we were down about 20%. We really took a big hit on library programs. We were down about 35% in attendance and in number of programs. So that, there's not a whole lot of good to say for the numbers. However, I have to say I've been really impressed with the way that libraries have stepped up and adapted to the changes and what we have all done to try and engage with our communities in a safe and socially distanced way. And so that's what the back page is that you've got on that. And that's just our response to COVID. So you can see that we've done everything from curbside delivery. Clarinda's put in lock boxes to kind of help with the curbside delivery so that they can do after hours delivery. We have done story walks through the downtown. Clarinda's added that to the walking trail. We've all tried to do all kinds of offsite things. We did a riddle walk in the park. I know everybody's been doing grab and go craft bags. So there's just, every way we can think of to engage with the community. So it certainly helped us all be much more creative this year. So do you have any questions about any of the statistics or anything else? I'm going to let each library, we're all going to talk about what our highlights are from our annual reports and what's been going on. So I was leaving the events and improvements section for each one to talk about specifically.
I guess I would ask each one of you, as you come forward with regard to COVID, what was learned and what, COVID was a horrible, continues to be a horrible situation. However, there have been some silver linings for all of us in finding new efficiencies. And I would ask you, as a Shenandoah director, what do you envision? It may be too early, but what do you envision COVID will transform in your operation moving forward?
Well, I would say that we were just in the infancy of creating the Curbside to Go program when COVID hit, and I think that has been just a huge boon for us. I was really thankful that we had everything in place to start doing it, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that as people's lives are busier. Maybe they don't feel comfortable coming in the building. They are allowing us to pull materials for them and then have it available for them to just, drive by and pick up sitting outside the building. And that's okay. I have to admit that I personally have found out that I am kind of, I don't want to call it a book Nazi per se, but I really like pulling books for other people and telling them that you should read this and you will enjoy this book. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing, but it's been kind of fun, and it's been a great way to introduce new authors and new books to people, things that they might not have picked up on their own otherwise. So I would say that's kind of been the silver lining, is a lot of really good books have been checked out that might not have been otherwise. And so I also did include my annual report from the Shenandoah Library, so you can see that. I'm not going to say too much about it other than I was really impressed with how our staff responded, the things that we did to engage with the community during COVID. We really used the Facebook page a lot and, tried to get out to the community as much as possible. I was really pleased with our community craft swap that we did last year in November, where we had the community bring in leftover craft supplies because everybody's always got a stash from whatever project they've done. And this was an opportunity to get rid of their stuff and then come in and get new stuff. So it was kind of an upcycling activity. And I'm sorry we couldn't do that this year, but hopefully, in the future, we will get to do things like that again. And just wanted to highlight too that we had over 112 volunteers, and the number of hours that they gave us, I want to say averaged to about 17 hours of volunteering per individual. So really am thankful for the community engagement in Shenandoah and the way that they support the library.
I saw that volunteer number and I wondered what the trend was, if that's up or down. Or if you tracked
It's about
anything.
the same from previous years. So even in spite of the fact that, we had several months where we couldn't do
Right.
anything, it really went, I think, pretty well. So.
Awesome. Any questions, guys?
I wanted to let you know, J.D. King, our county engineer, was in here right ahead of you. And he gave you a big compliment on your library. He said they're regular at the library. And
Yes, they
appreciate
are.
it.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear it. It's always fun to see him come in and give him a hard time about the roads.
But I wanted to let you know that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
All right. Amber, are you next?
I don't have any paperwork for you, unfortunately, because
Okay.
I've had some issues with my annual report, so I'm still trying to get that put together for you guys.
Okay.
One of the biggest highlights that I think I would like to tell you guys about, the library's been there for at least 20 years now, and we were finally able to get it painted. Get it painted.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's beautiful in there now. It looks new. It looks fresh.
Great.
We were able to get the carpets cleaned. We also, to help with our ADA checklist, we got automatic doors put on the building as well. So that has been a godsend.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, when we were shut down for all the COVID stuff, that's when we basically took all of our books off the shelves and off the walls. And that's when we basically took that time to get the painting done and the floors cleaned and all of that taken care of. And we still offer the curbside as well. Our computer usage is actually going up. Our Wi-Fi usage is going up now that they can sit out there and they can use it in their cars. So it's been kind of nice to have that extra stability for them as well as for us, because, you know, they don't always want to come inside because they're not sure. So, offering that curbside is nice. Like Carrie said, it does allow us to be able to pick out some books that may not have otherwise been checked out.
Sure.
So it's also been another way to learn about what they like as well. So when we go to bring in new books, we can look at those authors and say, hey, why don't we go ahead and bring in those books too? So, yeah, any questions?
You mentioned the internet usage of, do you have fiber, farmers fiber coming into the library?
Yes, we do. Yep, so it's, ever since then, it's been nice because our internet's so much faster. And the patrons don't complain as much when they're in there and they're going, okay, why is it taking so long for it to load? So yeah, it's been nice. And now they have the opportunity to print from their emails and stuff like that too. So it's, yeah. So,
Well, thank you very much.
Yes,
Any
thank
questions,
you.
guys, or-
That's a lead library too.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thought it was.
Thank you
Very
guys.
nice. Thank you.
My name's Barbara McCollum, and I work at the Coin Library, and ours is just a little tiny library that doesn't have a whole lot of income. In fact, if it wasn't for people some years ago that gave money when they died to the Coin Library, it would not even exist. But since we've joined this organization, we've been getting grants, so we've been able to improve our library. We have new shelves, we have a whole new computer, set up. And we recently got something from a foundation, so we're going to try to do some more kids stuff because there aren't a whole lot of kids in Coin, and a lot of the hours really don't accommodate the kids. But we want the kids. We had a little program Saturday where we made a snowman out of socks, which was a whole lot of fun and tiring. But anyway, I don't know if I have anything else. I do enjoy having people say they need books so we can pick out books that we want them to read, and I give them books that I like. So,
Right.
I mean, you're going to like this one, and that's how I find new books too. We've recently joined that library thing where we've been putting our books into the computer, and we're almost 10,000 books, which is unbelievable.
That's amazing.
And you can believe the books I find that I want to read as I'm checking them in, I should have been making me a list so I could have went down the list and read all those books I want to read. But I don't know. I did bring my annual report out. I'm going to hand you guys out the annual report.
Well, it's electric, I can tell.
What?
Your annual report is electric. It keeps buzzing when you talk
Oh,
about
really?
this.
Is that the Staples?
Maybe.
So can I just hand these out to you?
Please.
That's it on the back.
Thank you, Barbara. Thanks. Well, very good. Thank you. I'll dig into this more, and if I have any questions, can I just email you or call you? I was gonna ask you, Barb, how long have you been the librarian in Coin?
I don't know how long I've been librarian going, because for the longest time, I didn't even go. I mean, I worked at Lyle, so I just went to Surrender Center. And, I wasn't there when they were open either, so a long time, because they told me, like, in different places. And that, was the guy who got the foundation money from that, is it Charles Hawkins?
Hockenberry.
Yeah, he used to live out there in Coin. That's how I got started. started, and see, I didn't even know that until we got the grant from them, and then they started showing me that, yeah, he's done this for years, and it's like, didn't even know.
But you as a librarian, how long have you been involved with?
Oh, since I retired, so maybe 2 or 3 years,
Okay,
that's it.
all right. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
all your work here. It's great. Morning, Andrew.
Morning. I've already handed out our little fun report. I feel obligated to tell you, don't wear it. It's not an appropriate mask, but I thought it would be fitting.
I tried it.
Yes, it'd be fitting for this year's report. On the front here, you kind of have some statistics that are reflective just of the Clarinda Lead Public Library. But on the back, kind of to answer your question, Chuck, we kind of talk about what we've done through and beyond COVID. Like the other libraries, we've instituted a curbside pickup using outdoor lockers that we can lock. That's really great because we can put a padlock on it and you can pick up your stuff after hours. We send you what number and the code to get into it and you can get into it. We did a online summer reading program. Over 80,000 minutes were read. While we were closed, we had our carpets cleaned. We did some weeding, which is collection development and collection management, looking at our collection, taking books out, rearranging books. We've also, just like Essex, we ended up painting a few areas of our library too that were showing their age. We've updated our book sale. We haven't done a traditional large scale book sale with our friends group, but we're doing kind of an ongoing cart. And that's actually proved to be pretty popular as well. This summer, we were able to continue our outdoor concert series that's sponsored by our Library Foundation. And we had really good attendance, and I was very happy to see people did distance and keep their space, but we have that green space to the north of the library that is quite accommodating for that. As Carrie mentioned, we've done a story walk around the square as well as a permanent story walk down at City Park. We worked with a grant from Bank Iowa and a local carpenter, Michael Kurtz, to install 2 free little libraries throughout the communities, one at City Park and one on the north side of the library, again, to facilitate access to resources. And we did a Learn to Play Pickleball outside program in July, which was lots of fun as well. One of the things and one of the responses that we've done through COVID, the silver lining, so to speak, I think, is we're able to do more hybrid programming and services. So what that means is we're definitely being compelled to do our traditional services of kind of in-person programming, but combining that with live streaming it on Facebook or Zoom. Doing our summer reading program, which traditionally was always you'd had to get your paper form and come to the library. Well, now you can submit your minutes and everything through an app on your phone. So those changes, I think, will continue to be with us as we kind of combine the digital with the analog or traditional services and resources that the library has always offered. We've always been doing that. It's just COVID kind of accelerated that a little bit for us.
Super. Question? I didn't mean to interrupt your report.
No, I just have then the letter here for our funding request would be the next thing, so.
Okay. So thanks for you sent this out in advance so we can kind of read through it, and it doesn't look unreasonable at all. As you know from previous appointments with us, we're very early in the budget, so we have crunch no numbers. But just in review, the State of Iowa Code requires a minimum distribution of funding based on valuations. We don't have that final valuation number, and it's been the discussion ongoing for the last few years is how can Page County improve its support of the libraries over and above that minimum. And so I know I've expressed and other board members have expressed our pride in what's been done with libraries in Page County, and the fact that you guys are working together the way that you're working together, I think is a model for all of us in the county, as we all have the same challenges with population loss, with grant funding shrinking as we speak. So working together and finding collaborative efforts that increases in efficiency is really, our library system is to be commended for kind of paving the way. It seems like you're getting it done and others of us are simply still talking about it.
Well, thank you. That's one of the things that is unique with kind of our Page County Library System Association, collaboration, whatever you want to call it. because we do meet monthly. Of course, lately it's been kind of by Zoom, but we rotate going to each different library, and they're relatively informal, but a lot of times we talk about what's going on, what's issues, are there any programs or services that we can share cost on? Are there just kind of, sometimes you just need some advice on, well, we were just talking about recarpeting areas of our libraries. I was talking to Gary, and who worked on a few years ago, Shenandoah, when they remodeled, they redid some carpeting as well. So what did you do and things like that? And it really proves beneficial. And even we've had librarians from our surrounding counties come in and visit with us too, just to, it's not just Page County. I mean, we're the core group, but we do like to see what other libraries are doing and everything. But I will say one of the things that's unique about Page County and Southwest Iowa is we kind of do have two larger library systems or communities, Clarinda and Shenandoah, all within one county. So that makes our situation a little more unique, as well as I'd say that I think Page County probably has some of the best libraries in all of Southwest Iowa, but I might be a little biased on that as well. So anyways, yeah, if you guys have any questions on our proposals or our reports, don't hesitate to reach out to us. I love pulling numbers and doing colorful spreadsheets, so I can do that anytime. So thank you guys.
I do have one quick question. Once valuations come in, there may be some additional money from the valuation. Say it goes up 3 or 4%, that's going to change the dollar amount by 3 or 4%. So your request here for $5,500 additional dollars, is that above whatever that percentage rate of increases from valuations, or would that be inclusive of the uptick from valuations if that's the case?
Well, that figure is kind of based on just the total dollar amount of funding.
Okay.
So we kind of have to work backwards to figure out what cents per thousand or percentage of an increase that would be. So it could be a higher percent or a lower percent depending on what the valuations come in. We were just looking at total dollars committed per fiscal year.
Okay.
And that's a little easier for us to budget wise when we're looking at, the hotspots that we offer are going to cost $3,000 per year to continue that program at the library. So looking at the total dollar amount makes a little more budgetary sense for us. And then we can do the numbers to see what that does in terms of cents per thousand or percent of valuation.
That's awesome. Speaking of the hotspots, I want to put a plug in. That's a wonderful program. And I know you've expanded in Clarinda. Where are you at in Shenandoah now?
We have 4 of them.
You have 4?
And we're also a hotspot for the school. We've got one of their access points too.
Oh, okay. So, and I guess and this is kind of a group discussion as we take input from you, looking ahead at funding. I mean, our libraries seem, thanks to your efforts, seem to be in really great shape. We're kind of the pride of Southwest Iowa. So the question then becomes, how do we grow from here? When we get additional money, is that to maintain our high standard? Is that to grow our high standard? And those are the kinds of things that I think our public would really enjoy knowing what that plan is moving forward. And again, you guys have done a great job. So thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
You don't know how much better and how good their reports are compared to when I started 16 years ago. We didn't know what was going on, and we didn't get good reports. And so everything's improved a lot.
Thank you.
I'd ask Andrew this, we talk about collaboration, and I don't know how we ever get there. I'd like to see a day where you have one library card in Page County and
it would be easier for us too.
Yeah, but keep breaking down some of those barriers and we'll get there sometime, okay?
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
So we budgetarily, I know our department heads are working on a budget amendment that won't be ready. We thought it might be ready today, won't be ready today. We had a department head that was a little tardy, and so we'll hopefully have it ready next time. And then once we get through the amendment process, we're going to dig in headlong. Of course, John will be leaving and Jacob Holmes will be joining, so we'll start the budget process in earnest in January. So once we get some more numbers on valuations and the various requests that we get, we'll know more, but we'll keep you posted, and you're welcome to come back anytime. Ruth, you're on the library board. Did you want to speak on behalf of the library?
I just am here to support them, and as a rural resident, that I appreciate the funding that comes from the county, for the rural residents.
Awesome.
This might be the last time I have served as long as they're going to let me in. I guess in June, maybe, so someone else hopefully will be here to represent as well.
Well, maybe Andrew can get the bylaws changed where you don't have to go. That might be the best fix to that problem. So, well, thank you all very, very much. Really appreciate you coming. Well, we're a little bit behind, and Jess had texted me here, and yes, I got my question answered. I see Brandy is on the line, who is the chair of our county wellness committee.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you very much. What we have on the agenda now, I'd requested a discussion to talk about wellness funds, because we had a situation last week that unfortunately resulted in some hard feelings, and I'd like to be proactive and get some clarification so that we are all on the same page as it relates to our wellness program. First and foremost, our wellness committee does a great job, and our wellness efforts have paid dividends. We qualified again this year for a 5% reduction in our healthcare fee because of the commitment of our employees to wellness. It was an unusual wellness year. Normally, wellness activities countywide are more numerous, but because of COVID and the restrictions of even getting in to see a doctor at the clinic were such that it made it an unusual year. But we did qualify, and the preliminary news is our health insurance rates are going down again this year, which is remarkable. So we don't have the final numbers or what the impact is on our paying stubs every month, but it will be better from a health premium standpoint. But what happens, the wellness committee, which is a collaboration of several county departments, is a function of ISAC. ISAC, which is our partner on healthcare services. They serve, I believe, 31 or 32 counties in Iowa with health packages, and we're one of their members through Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. And each year they allocate a certain amount of money to us for providing incentives to our employees to encourage good wellness so that we can keep driving rates down. And what happens, the county also kicks in some money for wellness activities. We have gift cards occasionally if you meet a goal, or little incentives like at Christmas time. The wellness committee assembles these to-go packs, these little healthy sacks of snacks and things that are utilized from the ISAC funds, and sometimes the county funds are commingled. Well, the difficulty that we have is the ISAC dollars are designated for folks in our wellness program. And we have some part-time employees, part-time deputies, part-time seasonal employees in conservation who, because of their part-time status, are not involved in our health plan. The ISAC dollars specifically state that we can not use that outside of our health plan. So when it comes to audit time, it becomes very difficult for us to manage the funds because they're commingled with county dollars. So, for example, when snack packs were purchased here a few weeks ago, or the materials for these snack packs, it was a combination of finishing out the ISAC funds and a little kick from the county fund balance. And it's just next to impossible to account for that to satisfy auditors. So the point being that the part-time employees who aren't on the health plan can't receive that, and that fosters some hard feelings. It's not that the the reserve deputies or the part-time people at conservation or whoever else falls in that category, that they're not appreciated, because they certainly are appreciated. It's just that ISAC regulations won't allow us to be commingle the dollars. So that's kind of the summary. So what I'm asking this group to do is consider approving a statement that shows that when we do incentives on our wellness plan, that the only eligible employees to receive those incentives are folks who are on the healthcare plan. And if we make a statement and give that leadership, then it should be better understood, and hopefully will keep hard feelings from coming up. So any comments or?
ISAC is requiring that.
Yes, with their dollars.
So, and that, therefore, it should be us saying that is the way it has to be done, correct?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see any ins or outs about that.
Okay. Well, I think that, again, there were some hard feelings because we weren't going to give these little snack packs to, as a wellness committee, to non-healthcare employees. And it's not to be mean, it's to live within the guidelines of what ISAC says what those dollars can be used for. So I think that this board just needs to clarify that going forward, so that hopefully we don't have that misunderstanding. And again, we appreciate everybody, but everybody's employment is certainly appreciated. But as it relates to wellness, the dollars that we give, and certainly that ISAC give, is for the improvement of wellness. If you're not in that program, you can't, it's just hard to justify spending those dollars that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
I think Brandy was on the line. I don't know if she's the chair of the wellness committee. Do you have any input into that, Brandy?
Okay, so just clarification question. So in the past, we have given those snack packs and anything that is not ISAC funds, that it was more the county funds, to permanent part-time employees, which I believe that we have 2 at this point, for sure, that are not temporary or seasonal. So are you saying that the funds that are from, I know the funds that are from ISAC, that is only for those that are involved with ISAC. Absolutely understand that one. But the county funds that are contributed to wellness are now to only be used in the same way that the ISAC funds are to be used, for only those that have county insurance and contribute to our county discount percentage that we work towards every year.
Brandy, it's my feeling that yes, I know it sounds maybe cold, but the purpose of the dollars that we contribute to our wellness is for the purpose of driving down our health premium. And that's what the mission of the wellness committee is. So if you use the dollars outside of anything that is driving the premium down, then it's probably not appropriate. That's my feeling. I don't know how John or Alan feels.
I guess it just, yes, I don't disagree with the fact it seems kind of harsh, but on the other hand, where do we limit that to, or at some point, how do we know what benefit is it to do for somebody that's not working and benefiting from the insurance? I guess that's my whole concern, is why would we reward somebody that's not able to reward us, so to speak? Would that be correct? And that's kind of what I guess I'm puzzled about. So.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it does kind of seem harsh because we do appreciate everybody's employment, but the dollars are really designated for the improvement of wellness with the intent of driving healthcare premiums down. So, and maybe there's something for, maybe we should consider something separately for non-health insurance employees as a little thank you at Christmas, although we're kind of limited in what we can do with tax dollars. But I think that the fear I have is that sometimes those dollars are commingled with, I know you do a great job, Brandy, with the Wellness Committee, but it's, from an accounting standpoint, difficult sometimes if you're a little bit short on ISAC dollars to meet the goal. So we're going to kick some of those county dollars in, and that's where the line gets crossed and becomes an auditing nightmare. So I don't know, does that answer your question? Is that?
Yeah, no, that, I just wanted to clarify that, I know that, you know, you have been in some of the meetings that I have asked that specifically, that question specifically. Just having a clear distinction on what those are used for, I absolutely would appreciate, because that has been a little unclear over the last, what, I've been doing this for 3 years, I think now, I don't know, time goes too fast. So I would absolutely appreciate a very clear understanding of what those funds are to be used for. And then, you know, I absolutely understand our focus is the health of our employees that are, you know, contributing towards our health insurance premiums and such. So, like I said, I know that you've been in some of those meetings, Chuck, that I have asked that, and it's just been what has gone over the years since I haven't been here for, you know, all the years that wellness has been going on. Some of the members of the committee said they were used for one thing and then they were to be used for a different thing. So yes, I would absolutely appreciate a very clear statement on what county wellness funds and are to be used for outside of the ISAC funds.
Very well stated. That committee does change from time to time, and it has not been clear, and it's kind of wavered between who's on the committee and who's not on the committee as to how that's distributed. So that's exactly what I'm asking for, some clarity from the board, and I would entertain a motion.
It's too bad it's got to come down to this over a few people, but I would make a motion to approve the county's wellness funding usage goes to full-time.
People on the insurance plan, okay, in the wellness plan, okay?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Will that clarify that? We'll wordsmith the language a little bit in the statement for your committee, but we have a motion and a second.
May I ask, will this start, just to clarify again, will this start as of this year, like as of today, or does this start as of 2021, January 1st?
Well, I mean, are there any other wellness incentive payouts that are scheduled between now and the end of the year?
There is one. I have, this is my first day back, I have not had a chance to connect with Ann yet. But there is one that was to be $25 chamber certificate or chamber bucks for all employees, full-time, part-time, permanent part-time, and full-time employees, and for reserve officers who covered for those officers who were out and could not work.
So, clarity.
So I don't know if this has already, it was discussed last week while I was off. And I have, like I said, I have not had a chance to reconnect with Ann to see if she had already put in the request to the chamber to get those purchased. And those were to, since it was a combination of employees, it was to come out of the county funding, not ISAC funding.
Thoughts?
I don't know. It is nice to have employees that have given and dealt during this tough time, but I'm not sure from an auditing standpoint if we can do it, you know.
Well, you're certain that the funding allocation for this project would come from county funds for those certificates?
Yes, I have the funds. I have them meticulously broken down between ISAC funding, what I have used for ISAC funding, and what I have used for county funding. And at any point, more than happy. I share it at every committee meeting, Chuck, so it's broken down by that. But if any board member would like to see that at some point, you're more than happy to request it from me as well.
So will that be mailed out before the first of the year or what?
The plan was to get it out within the next, as soon as the chamber could get those all made and done, it was to be sent out before the end of the year.
So then,
Can we do that for, through the way the policy is geared toward rewarding employees for their wellness, for employees that the wellness won't matter towards, that's what, I guess we're back to that same point.
yeah, that's the point of our discussion today, is to eliminate exactly this. However, I guess there are always extenuating circumstances with regard to, you know, Brandy mentioned the reserves. I think that's a good point. We had COVID through the sheriff's department and our reserves.
We've had several other part-timers that had to step up. But
I did with the reserves, when this hardship was brought up, when this discussion was brought up, I did reach out to that one employee and I asked them, because I know the reserve program. My husband is a reserve over at Fremont County, so I know that stipulations is that they have to work 8 hours per month. And my request, as trying to be as diligent as I can with these funds, is that it had to be reserves that were certified, that could cover 4 full times and did work more than that 8 hours that is required, that they actually did put in that extra effort. Because this is supposed to be what the committee wanted this to be, is for a, you know, thanks for dealing with the hard times this year. There's a little extra that we can give you. So there was 4 reserves that did put in that extra effort, that were certified, that did over and above during the hard time of that department. And that did not work in another department as well, because that there should not be any double dipping, I don't think, as well.
What's the total number of people, not just reserves, but the total number of people who are targeted to get this $25 that are not on the wellness plan?
That are not on wellness. So just guessing off the top of my head, it would be 1, 2, 6, 7. I think 7 or 8. And again, that is a rough guess.
In addition to the reserves or total?
That is with reserves.
That's with reserves, okay. So we're talking $200. So,
Right.
Well, we have a motion on the floor. Can we get an amendment to put a date, a start date on this directive? Anybody?
You think you can get it done by January 1, Brandy?
If it hasn't already been set in motion by the chamber has been amazing working with this year. So, and every year, I mean, they've been really great over there. So if it's not already in motion, I can definitely get it in motion as of today, and it'll be done and out probably by, I would say at the latest, next week.
So could I amend my motion and put January 1?
Sure. You absolutely can.
I would do that.
Okay, the motion's been amended to ensure that ISAC or county wellness funds are used only for employees who are enrolled in the healthcare plan, effective January 1, 2021. And are you okay seconding that?
I'll second the friendly amendment.
Okay, all right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If
One
not,
One more last clarification. So I just want to make everybody aware, if you aren't already aware, there's 5 employees out at Landfill that is on our insurance that are part of ISAC. So they are included in this. So it is not just county employees, it is county employees plus the landfill.
yeah, and thanks for that clarification, but again, their experience contributes to
Yes.
premium reduction or premium increase. So that's part of what wellness, I mean, they're participating. If they don't participate, I want to make sure that, and there's an area that probably needs cleaned up too, since it's a landfill. We bill the landfill, as I understand it, for the full premium. So we probably need to revisit this if the or talk with the landfill board and see if they will play ball with us in regard to participation in wellness. I think that right now we don't have a mechanism, if you know what I'm saying. Now, if our employees don't participate, then we charge them 5%. We don't have, I don't think anyway, we need to talk with the landfill board. I don't think we have that opportunity, which changes potentially how I feel about incentivizing them if they're not playing by the same rules. Does that make sense?
I absolutely understand that, but I have not had an issue since I've taken over. They have never not participated in anything. If anything, they participate before anybody else.
Okay, well then we don't
And
have a problem.
I absolutely understand your concern. I mean, what's to say that a new employee comes along and doesn't help and contribute? So, but at this point right now, I have no question that they are absolutely helping and contributing for us.
Okay, all right. So we have a motion on the table and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Okay, motion carries. So we'll get a directive statement that you can have for your next wellness committee and continue with what's on the books through the end of the year. Okay?
And I wish that this meeting was about 2 days later, because tomorrow is our meeting, just so you know, for ISAC to find out what's going to happen next year. So they're doing it by Zoom. So as soon as I get that information, we'll do a committee meeting and then share it out and get ready to gear up for 2021.
Okay, sounds good. Well, if there's any significant change in their program, I know the county will be a participant, but I think philosophically speaking, clarifying who gets the incentive packs is important regardless of what their program is. I think that we just need to refocus on what our goal is, and that's driving down health premiums and keeping our full-time employees healthy. All right, thanks, Brandy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have several on the public. This is public comment time. Several folks on Zoom. If you'd like to chime in, anybody, now's the time. All right, hearing no public comment, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from last Tuesday?
So moved.
Second that motion.
Okay, Armstrong with the motion, Herzberg with the second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second.
Okay, Thank you for joining us today and have a great day. We'll see you next Tuesday.